Welcome back. I'm Autumn Bardot, and here we discuss quick tips and author tools. If you're new, a big warm welcome, and if you're returning, thank you so much. Today we're going to discuss 13 things I wish I knew as a newbie writer. 13 things. If I could just go back and remember those horrible times. I started writing about 8 years ago. And looking back at those 8 years, it feels like a blink of an eye. It also feels like an eternity. Because I teach literary analysis and writing and have a Bachelor of Arts in English literature, la-di-da, I thought I could write a novel. I thought I was ahead of the novel game. And I was, but just a little. But all my book smarts, all my understanding of novel really didn't translate too much into the actual creation of writing a story. I knew what the authorial techniques were, but putting them in was something entirely different. If you haven't already, I would love if you would hit that subscribe and that notify button. Thank you so much. It really makes a difference. And I think I'm at 91 now, so close to 100, which I think is some kind of milestone. I'm going to make it a milestone. Here are 13 things I wish I knew as a newbie. You have to be dedicated. That means writing every day or every chance you get. I can probably count on one hand the times that I had time to write and chose not to. So I was dedicated. Some days I would come home after a long, aggravating day at work and I would get maybe a paragraph done, but I still wrote. Other times on weekends or days off, I was able to get a lot more done. Facebook posts and tweets don't count. Writing your story does. 2, take advice from people who know. Go to conferences if it's in your budget. Read lots of books and blogs and watch YouTubes like this one about the craft of novel writing. You can really avoid many of the pitfalls of novel writing just by understanding the basics and learning the craft. I mean, if you're going to knit a story together, let's use that knitting metaphor. You don't just pick up 2 knitting needles and a ball of yarn and think you're going to do this and you're going to have a gorgeous blanket. No, you don't. 3, your first novel probably needs a lot of work. It needs more rewrites than you're going to think. Truth. My final rewrite came after a frenemy told me it sounded amateurish and beginner. Ouch! But you know, she was right. And she went over about 10 pages with me and showed me exactly where it was amateurish and how to elevate it. I rewrote the novel 5 more times after that. Maybe I'm a slow learner. 4, friends and family are absolutely certain that they are a character in your first novel. They know it. Doesn't matter how many times you tell them, no. They want to be characters in your novel. After the 2nd and 3rd novel, they don't do that anymore. 5, you discover who your real friends are. Real friends read your story. They discuss your story with you. They let you cry on their shoulder. They give honest feedback. Honest. They encourage you to keep writing, to keep querying, to keep going for your dream. Real friends don't look at you with horror and say, "You're writing a novel?" Sadly, the people who love us will tell us not to write a novel. This happened in my case. My loving parents, my well-intentioned parents told me many times to stop writing. Well, I was a grown-ass woman and I didn't listen to them. And I'm glad I didn't. Oddly enough, they read all my novels now. 6, it gets easier, sort of. The more you write, the easier it is to manipulate sentences, to write, to create. It's just called practice. In Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Outliers, he discusses something called 10,000 hours. The more you write and put in those 10,000 hours, the better, the faster you get. However, you don't want to have 10,000 hours of doing something the wrong way. Thus, rule 2. 7. Really good beta readers are hard to find. At least I had trouble. Sometimes your friends will find books and they'll love them, but they'll want you to tweak them to mesh with what they want instead of what you want. Finding plot flaws, character issues, that takes somebody who really understands the craft. If you can find a critique group that's way better than you, that's where you want to go. A critique group with a bunch of newbies really doesn't help you all that much. 8, and some of you aren't going to like this. Other writers will lie to you. They'll lie about the process, about their inspiration, about their ability or lack of. They'll lie about their sales, their awards, their lucky breaks, or they won't tell you what their lucky break was. I don't know why they lie. I don't know. Maybe they want to make it look more easier or more difficult than it is. Maybe they want to discourage you. Maybe they want to inspire you. There's a multitude of reasons. Maybe lying to you and saying it was easier is just a misguided way of being more encouraging and more inspiring. Who knows? Just vet the advice before acting on it. 9. If financially feasible, pay for a real manuscript critique by a bona fide author, a traditionally published author with a few novels. I had one from a multi-published author. It was about $1,500. It was worth every single penny. She read the manuscript, and then she critiqued basically the first 50 pages very intensely, and then wrote a 10-page single-spaced report on things that I needed to focus on. It really helped me fine-tune it. It was great because I got to have a professional look at it with professional eyes, the whole manuscript. Conferences will usually cost about $50, maybe it's more now, to have a editor or an agent critique like the first 5 or 10 pages. Go ahead and do that if you can as well. They're not going to be as thorough, of course, because, $50 versus $1,500, but they'll give you a lot of times a good indication of what is wrong. And make sure you go to the mean one. And mean is they're just telling you what it is. They're not sugarcoating it. You want the truth, right? 10. Writing a query and a 1-sentence pitch is like its own special level of hell. Be prepared to write it 1 billion times. Read how to do it. Follow the advice. Do what they ask. Sending a query is downright terrifying. When I hit send on my first query, I was so nervous. I was crazy nervous. And I'm just sending an email. Do it anyway. Also, you're going to have to write a lot of times a synopsis. A lot of agents will require this, and also it's good practice for writing the back of your book. Here's the truth. You need to be able to write a query and a synopsis and that one-liner. It comes part and parcel with writing the novel. It's just another skill you have to learn to perfect. 11. Luck. You need it. If you're querying, the right manuscript has to get to the right agent at the right time that she is looking for that thing. That's how it works. Luck. You need some luck. Your manuscript can be brilliant. It can get lots and lots of sales as an indie author. But if it didn't show up at the agents at the right time with what they were looking for, it doesn't matter. 12. Write another novel. Once you hit that query and you are sending your query, dive into that next novel. And then the 3rd and the 4th. I just finished my 10th. Yay! I'm both indie and traditionally published now, and I still love every moment of the process. Are novels any easier to write? Yes and no. Certain things are a lot easier because I know what I need to do in those beginning drafts, and I know what to look for and get rid of. Number 13 is the most important, and it's probably a bad number for that. Don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Put that somewhere on your writing space. Don't give up. Because writing is a skill. It takes time. It takes luck. It takes perseverance and dedication. And it's that beginning of the hill. You climb that hill. You reach the top, whatever your top is. and you feel good about yourself. Some of you might have noticed that I'm holding this book on my thumbnail. I'm going to give you some context. This is the first novel I ever wrote, sort of kind of short novel. And I had just come back from a family trip in Williamsburg, and that was amazing history. And so what did I write? I wrote historical fiction, and I even did the drawings. My first attempt. I think I might even read it this weekend. Oh, the horror. So I've been writing a long, long time. You know what's even better? I wanted to be an author at 9 years old, and now I am. Thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, I would love if you would hit that subscribe and notify button. And remember, writers, to dream, create, and embrace. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.